Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month or $54 a year. So, I have to say I'm pretty happy right now because I went to my local, grocery store, and they have that cheese bread again. It's been forever. God, I love that Asiago cheesy breads. But anyways, enough about me and my cheese fetishes. On the last Let's Play, we went to the, food court, I guess, and found out, Dom found a little bit out a bit more about Spencer, who could be a 50-year-old never dying person, or just have somebody else that, father. But he owns the hot springs new stone house that was demolished. I don't know, a whole bunch of leads. We'll have to see where it goes. But enough about that. We should rest our face and go to work, where Spencer will be, and Ty, or Daddy. Finally, the countless minutes that stood between me and the beginning of my shift had dwindled to a precious few, prompting me to begin traveling in the direction of Ty's bar. Sorry, actually give me a sec. There we go. By sheer coincidence, I watched in surprise as Diego emerged only meters ahead from my position, exiting a shoe shop, donning a new pair of slick black work shoes since he was gluing his shoes together. With our destination set, I kept Diego company on the remainder of our journey as we complained about his new footwear with each step that he took. I'm gonna be battling blisters for weeks. Hey, my dudes. Welcome to Ty's bar. What? Oh, I guess it's another thing I forgot to mention to you. Huh? Forgot? Sure. Ty is rubbing on a funny dude. I don't like that one bit. I don't know about that. He hasn't rubbed off on me before. I mean, oh, you mean that way. And to be fair, I didn't expect Russell to start so quickly. It's gonna be a total killer working with you, my dude. Ty hit me up, yesterday afternoon. Asked if I wanted a job. I already knew him as well as both of you guys, and, well, I get the feeling I could learn a whole heap from working here. So, yeah, I was super eager to get started. As soon as I was free this morning, I came straight in. I was impressed by Russell's initiative and culinary talent when we were all out camping. Oh, and his good vibe too. He also wanted to ease the burden on you the next time he and I head off somewhere, so you won't have to work long hours and be in charge the whole time. But I wonder, I know he can serve drinks, but what about food? Does he also cook the food too? I mean, I guess this could be a small bar or something like that, but it's okay, you got the bar there, you've got the front desk as well, but then also, cooking? Huh, really? He was thinking of me? Definitely. He was very clear about it. Well, geez, I ain't gonna lie, being Ty's only other employee has been tough at times. I admit that I'm looking forward to the time off. And, well, you seem like a cool and laid-back kind of guy, Russell. I think you'll fit right in. Yep, glad to have you on board, Russell. You're gonna kill it. I just know it. Thanks, my dudes. Working with friends is gonna be totally fun. Getting paid to hang out almost. Yeah, I guess it kinda is like that sometimes. Still hard work though, but hey. One sec again. Don't worry, the throat's getting full of gunk. Diego put his belongings on the counter in front of Russell. Mind putting these beneath the register for me? I'm gonna check in with the boss. Let him know that we're both on deck. Sure thing, my dude. Diego offered an appreciative grin before navigating his way behind the counter and through the swinging door that led into the kitchen. Russell then retrieved Diego's belongings from atop the counter and bent down, placing them beneath the register as requested as he failed to muffle a sharp gasp of noticeable discomfort. Russell? Is something wrong? Are you hurt? What? Me? Like, I've, never been better, my dude. I'm just a little, tender is all. Ooh. Though it could be from exercise or all that walking. Ah, gotcha. You know, Diego just got some new shoes and had to walk half a mile from the food court to work in them, complained the whole way about blisters. I felt like slapping the side of his head. After all that walking did, he knows nothing about blisters, or walking we did. Heh, if only that were, the extent of my problems, man. Huh? What do you mean? The combat tournament, my dude. Don't you, remember? I had my heat this morning before I started work. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, right. I smacked my forehead in disappointment toward my unforgetfulness. Russell had indeed mentioned, on several occasions no less, that he would be fighting his first match this morning. So, how's it going? Kick some ass? Nah, I guess that's, what I get for being unprepared, my dude. Knew I'd have to my work cut out for me, but jeez, that was on a whole nother level. Maybe I was just, super unlucky? Axe definitely thought so. Oh, you lost? Yeah, dude. Wasn't even, close or anything. I got totally creamed. Get her head out of the gutter. Didn't even manage, a single pin. I wonder who he was up against. Damn. Sorry, Russell. That's a real shame. Nah, it's not so bad, my dude. Like I said to Axe this morning, in the end, the best fighter, won. So it's all's well and in balance in the universe or whatever, you know? It's just how it was meant to play out. And maybe, pairing was just bad luck. He and I were on a totally different level, man. But still, with talent like that in the tournament, I'd probably just save myself a whole lot of hassle. Who was that you fought? Some polar bear. Big dude. Kind of like Diego size. Real mean in the ring, but super impressive too. Like I said, I got beaten fair and square. He deserved that win. So I think, if I remember correct, in Diego's route, it was Sharkman here, Russell, then the polar bear. No, wait. Was it Jay, then the polar bear? Yeah, I think it was polar bear, then Jay, and then Kyrex. Well, I'm glad to see you're not too caught up about it. One of the things Ty really liked about you was your positive attitude. I bet he's glad that you're taking it so well, too. You gotta look on the bright side, my dude. Life is like a real mixed bag. It's what you make of it that counts. But yeah, I ain't upset. I think of it like an up-close and personal lesson or something, dude. Although, after the fight, I went over to congratulate him. I told him I was super impressed and that he was amazing. He didn't say anything, just sort of stared at me with his grumpy expression. Really? How rude. I don't know, my dude. Maybe he just didn't know how to take the compliment. Or compliment? That's what I'm gonna choose to believe anyway. Like I said, it's what you make of it. Our discussion was interrupted by Diego's return from the kitchen, as he took his position at the bar and turned towards the two of us, ready to relay Ty's instructions. Okay, so Ty wanted me to pass a few things on. First thing was for Adrian here, and was mad gay as hell, so I ain't repeating it out of self-respect. You should just ask himself, Adrian. Pfft, you're pretty much the gayest person here, Diego. Hey, I'm not. That's totally you, Mr. Rumble in the Jungle. Hey, shut up. Called it. Shit, I didn't. Damn it, Diego. You promised you wouldn't tell a soul. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I bet Russell didn't even care. Hell, for all we know, he might be the gayest person here instead. Who? Me? Diego, we don't even... Only on, Tuesdays, my dudes. Huh? Russell exercised his right to remain silent, merely burying a wide and toothy grin at the two of us, with no further context. Admittedly, Russell's vague response raised some questions. For example, what about the rest of the week? Okay. Well, Geisha aside, I'm on the bar, and Mr. Tuesday over here is on the register. Adrian, Tai says priority is to support him and help out if he gets stuck or anything. If you know what I mean, wink. Otherwise, you're in extra pair of hands. Help clean, help serve, you know, all that good shit. It's also weird that's like, okay, he was here by himself that, you know, yesterday and the day before, and now it's 4 people working here. Just saying. Sounds good. I assume Ty's busy in the kitchen? Yep, we've got a catering order to fulfill. Oh, that's probably why. Since when do we do catering? Apparently, Ty's delivering meals to the local hospital or something. I thought for sure that that would be more of Lucas's field of expertise, but Ty knows what he's doing, I guess. Well, anyway, looks like we're in charge out here until he's finished. I'm like, a little nervous, dudes. It's okay, Russell. I've got your back. Just remember to greet the customers as they come in, and I'll be right here to help with the orders. Yeah, and if you feel overwhelmed, just think Tuesday is only 5 days from now. 4, Diego. 4. Right. 4 days from now. Right. Thanks, dudes. I'll do my best. You've got this, man. Phew. Okay. Welcome to Ty's Bar. Welcome to Ty's Bar. Welcome to Ty's Bar. I've got this. Welcome to Ty's Bar. Welcome. Our attention was drawn to the bell on the door as it rung, indicating the arrival of a new customer. Russell turned towards the door, beaming with brightest and toothiest grin. Welcome to Ty's car. Can I... Shit. Ah, heck. I was just thinking it could be Spencer. Ty's car? I must say, it is has quite a ring to it. Sorry, it's like my first day. I'm totally nervous. Oh, I recognize you from the heat this morning. You fought very well, and indeed, should be proud, my friend. And please accept my heartfelt congratulations to your appointment here, my good man. I'm certain Ty will take wonderful care of you. I wasn't, ready for something so strong. That's on me. But thanks anyway, my dude. My dude? Such a delightful and endearing greeting. You may call me Spencer, should you wish. Although my dude will no doubt serve as a more suitable alternative. Right. And very good afternoon to you both as well, Adrian and Diego. Hello. I took a deep breath, clearing my throat, and attracting the attention of the room. Both Russell and Diego seemed nervous and flustered. Russell had a valid excuse, but Diego quite clearly did not. In an attempt to deter any suspicion, I mustered up every last drop of courage I had, and offered our visitor a warm and confident greeting. Hey Spencer, how's things? Things are quite well indeed, Adrian. Thank you for inquiring. And you? How do you fare? Things have been going wonderfully. Thanks, Spencer. Might we interest you in a drink? Spencer gave my suggestion a serious consideration, while remaining as calm and dignified as ever, if only the same could be said for Diego, whose jaw had practically hit the ground, having witnessed my unparalleled dramatic performance. I didn't think it'd be dramatic, but anyways. And if his jaw hadn't already connected to the floor, Spencer's forthcoming reply would certainly seal the deal. Oh dear, you must forgive my manners. I cannot rightfully refuse such an offer 2 days in a row. Now can I? This is business after all, and warm greetings do little to pay the bills. Spencer's eyes drift towards the rows of wooden shelves positioned to Diego's rear, each shelf lined with countless bottles of alcohol, which increase in value along their verticality. Is that how things work? I mean, I guess people tend to drink more cheap things, I guess? I'm not sure about Grey Goose, because it's like, they didn't change the formula, I heard. They just made it more expensive, and people thought it, bought it more. And I guess if it's really expensive, you're going to not go for it more, so you put it at the top. Naturally, Spencer's gaze wasted no time on the lower shelves, instead skipping directly to the very top. He surveyed the range of options with intense focus, and more than a hint of unmistakable intrigue. Finally, his gaze and Diego's connected as he presented him a polite smile along with carefully prepared question. Diego, you made the suggestion on my last visit, did you not? What was that again? I remember notes of cinnamon and a hint of spice. Oh, the important Ortegan firewater, right? Bottles unopened. Would you like to do the honors? Spencer returned his focus to me, a warm yet inquisitive expression on his face, as he presented yet another question, this time intended for none other than yours truly. What do you think, Adrian? I haven't had the privilege myself, but at that price, I'm sure Ty knew what he was getting himself into. You are quite right. There are few people whose tastes I can trust quite as much as Ty's, and so, without further ado, might I request 2 glasses? The first of which would be neat. The second, Adrian, would you like yours? How would you like yours, my friend? In surprise, I choked a little on my saliva, coughing for several moments before gradually regaining my composure. It seemed as though my feigned confidence had fallen short. After all, Spencer caught me off guard with such an unexpected curveball. I don't think I should be drinking on the job. Dude. I turned to Diego, whose expression betrayed his defiance. There was no telepathy required to understand what it was that Diego was trying to say. This is our chance. Take the damn drink. Of course, my number one priority was doing right by Ty, something that Spencer had clearly anticipated and very quickly sought to address. Fear not, my friend. I can offer my assurance that Ty's approval is all but guaranteed. In fact, I could even share a relevant anecdote that you may find amusing. That is, of course, if you do me the honor. Fear not, for I shall not take offense should your duties require you to come and go. I didn't know if Spencer's word could be trusted in terms of Ty's approval, but just like Diego, I understood that the situation was something of an unexpected blessing, something that I would have been incredibly foolish to decline. So I guess depending on the bottle, if this guy's paying, it kind of works for Ty. Just saying. Or at least the drink's expensive. Though I was worried about the cost of such an extravagant beverage. Are you sure this is okay, Spencer? That's a lot of money after all. Quite sure, my friend. Don't worry about the expense. It will be my treat. Alright, I accept. On the rocks, thanks. I'm truly delighted by your acceptance. 2 Ortegan firewaters. 1 neat. 1 on the rocks. And I do apologize profusely for my dreadful manners this afternoon, as it now dawns on me they have not asked your name. Oh, I'm Russell. Pleased to meet you. I mean Spencer. The honor is all mine, my dude. Of course, I can assure you. The total is, Adrian, help? I made my way over to the register, where the very concerned Russell stood, pointing a finger with an expression of panic as he bore witness to the total cost of the invoice. I think I, broke it, dude. I looked at the price. Imported Ortegan firewater. $1,195 per shot. A total of $2,390 for 2 drinks. I knew the bottle was expensive, but even for top shelf, it seemed at least somewhat extreme. Thankfully, I had a trick up my sleeve. I don't know much about going, I've been to bars and I drink, trying to, not as much. But, I can't really think of any place. I'm just gonna, sorry. Expensive shots. I just typed in expensive shots and it's like, I guess it's like tiny bottles and it's like, okay, there's this case Azul Pink for $3,000. Oh, but it's a liter. Alcohol is so fucking weird. Price range from 40 to 500. Huh. Yeah. It's so weird how alcohol is, or it's like, yeah, you get these wines and spirits that, like, apparently there's a vodka that's $1 million in a glass. There's... What is this supposed to be? It says a spirit, but it's like... $44 million a bottle. Christ. I'm not against people smelling their own farts. I do that sometimes too, but still, it's like people who make and drink expensive ass drinks like that like the smell of their own farts. Having worked for the company that developed the very software our register was running, I knew how I might be sure. Highlighting the item on the invoice and pressing F7 on the keyboard revealed inventory information. On the screen, I could see that Ty had imported a single bottle 3.5 months ago, and had not sold a single glass until now. The total cost of the bottle, including the import and customs, was only just shy of 9,000. With the bottle containing approximately 11 shots, that worked out to a notable, yet not unreasonable profit, something that was necessarily for top-shelf liquor, in order to account for the potential losses via spillage or poorly measured shots. I believe the price was 100% correct. It's 1,195 shots. Is that okay, Spencer? Very much so, my friend. Holy cow. Russell sent that transaction to the terminal, anticipating that Spencer would pay via card. This was not an unreasonable expectation. After all, the majority of our transactions were electronic, and for such a large transaction, it seemed foolish to expect the customer to carry around such an overwhelming quantity of cash. Cue a collective surprise as Spencer reached into his jacket and retrieved a small stack of notes before placing them on top of the counter, with a brand securing a bundle together. The brand, something typically found on large unbroken quantities of banknotes, claimed to contain 20 $100 notes, to a total of 2,000. Reaching into the codes once more, Spencer revealed several more loose notes, which he used to make up for the shortfall. The eventual quantity on top of the bar counted to a cool 2,500 in total. Please, split the extra between the three of you, as thanks for the wonderful service. Wow, thanks dude, that's totally generous of you. Russell cheerfully collected up the money and processed the transaction with his typical bright toothy smile, while Diego was busy preparing our drinks. He placed several ice cubes in one of the glasses and finally broke the seal on the expensive bottle of imported liquor, matching each shot in a small measured vial before pouring into each of our glasses. I'd never served any drink more than a few hundred in value at the bar. I recalled Ty having said something about measuring shots over a certain value. And why not? After all, made perfect sense. With drinks that expensive, a tiny mistake could result in a major loss. Having finished, Diego passed the two glasses to Spencer, who accepted them both with a kindly nod. Come now, Adrian, follow me. I acknowledged Spencer's request with a nod before turning towards Diego, who still appeared to be incredibly confused and could no doubt see the concern that was apparent on my face. Truth be told, I didn't know quite what I was getting myself into. I certainly not had expected anything like this to happen. It reminded me of Dom's words spoken earlier in the day, that we shouldn't take any risks, that it was better to play things safe. What was safe about this? About sharing a drink with the guy? I swallowed nervously, and took several deep breaths in an attempt to calm my nerves. As Ready as I was gonna be, I walked out from behind the bar and followed Spencer to a booth situated next to the windows on the opposite side of the bar. Was the reason Spencer had picked the location so far away from the counter, or was there? Perhaps he did not wish for our conversation to be overheard, and if so, what exactly was he hoping to discuss? Having arrived at our table, Spencer took a seat on one side of the booth, before politely motioning me to sit on the opposite section, a request which I obediently fulfilled. He then handed me my drink across the table towards me, that same warm smile displayed all the while display. I politely nodded in appreciation as I gazed down at the bronze-colored liquid contained within the glass, my nose twitching involuntarily as the distinct blend of alcoholic spices overcame my sense of smell. Now then, I promised to tell you an anecdote, did I not? Fear not, it is only quite brief. So for this game, it's going to be about 30 minutes. I joke, but so. But before I begin, Diego, he's your best friend, is he not? Have you known each other for a number of years now? It was immediately evident that Spencer knew a great deal about my life. But why begin a conversation like that? Was it some kind of power move? Something to assert the rules of conversation going forward? Or was it nothing more than confirming a relevant detail to his anecdote? Perhaps my suspicion was leading me astray, having no reasonable excuse not to. I decided to answer Spencer's question honestly. That's right. About 4 years now. We dormed together in university back in Sidonia. He was a year ahead of me. Moved here to Woodcrest about 2 years ago, when he got his degree. I just moved over myself. Life in the big city was a farce, and, well, I miss my best friend. I spoke about myself without restraint, not quite knowing for sure what things Spencer already knew, and what things he did not. Regardless, he gave no indication that the information I'd given him was already known to him, instead smiling warmly as he responded. I see, from what I hear, things have gone very well for you since you arrived in Woodcrest. I must offer my heartfelt congratulations to you. Thank you. But the antidote. I apologize for the distraction. Back when I first visited this fine establishment, there were only 2 people on the books. A former employee named Vanessa, who departed some time ago in search of grand adventure in the wider world, and of course, the owner himself, Ty. At the time, the most sophisticated beverage available to order was an aged brandy, going for a mere $350 through the whole bottle. I had been meaning to visit the bar for quite some time, being something of a connoisseur of fine beverages. Alas, with such lackluster offerings, I find myself sorely disappointed. I offered Ty some suggestions, and not only was he incredibly receptive to them, but he insisted that I promise to return at a later date, once he had made the appropriate changes. I agreed, returning several weeks later to find several tastefully chosen and high-end bottles on a newly fitted top shelf of the bar. There's also a new face behind the counter, your best friend Diego, and that night, Ty insisted that he and I share a drink, much like you and I are doing now. He later told me that this was one of the key motivations in hiring Diego in the first place. To allow himself the opportunity to drink on the job. I'm sure he has a more elegant way of describing it, even if the facts remain unchanged. But I can't help but wonder why. Quite, but credit well deserved. He went out of his way to ensure that the time I spent here was most memorable and enjoyable indeed. And had chosen some very fine beverages to boot. Perhaps the joke was on me all along. After all, I came back many a time and spent something of a fortune in this fine establishment. Truly a masterful businessman. You know, your outfit probably makes you a target. It's hard to look at the way you dress and think of anything other than how deep your pockets must be. Indeed, indeed. I'm certain he came to the very same conclusion. But of the myriad regrets that have accumulated throughout my life, The time and money I spent here is most certainly not among them. Spencer raised a glass to his beak and took a delicate sip of the contents. His face quickly lightened up with a cheerful satisfaction. My. As ever, Ty has outdone himself. However, I fear the ice present in yours will do little but water it down. May I suggest you make a start while the beverage is still undiluted? Oh. I collected a fork from the cutlery holder atop the table, and one by one I scooped each of the ice cubes before placing them on the napkin, as not to create a mess all over the wooden table. Spencer delivered an approving smile as I raised the mildly chilled yet newly neat drink to my lips, took a sip. As the liquid made contact with my tongue and traveled down my throat, it set everything it touched ablaze, searing infernal, accentuated by curious sweetness of cinnamon. So it was basically fireball whiskey. I began to cough, not unlike I had done on the counter only moments ago, but this time with a considerably better excuse. Once the raging wildfire settled to a slow and gentle burn, I allowed my tongue to loll lazily from my mouth as I took a series of labored, heavy breaths, trying to regulate the abnormal heat which had spread throughout my body. It is quite something, is it not? Tell me, have you ever visited Ortega? Nope, never. It is surprisingly temperate during the summer, but plays host to one of the coldest and harshest winters imaginable. The Ortegan people have brewed firewater just like this for millennia. The unique recipe is known to increase your body temperature, perfect for those 40 below winter days in the southern capital. Alcohol doesn't do that. These days, one can obtain firewater for a dime a dozen, as it were, but it is quite more than a novelty, lacking in those unique effects the genuine article is so widely renowned for. For the authentic product, you can expect to pay a significant premium, especially in this part of the world. Thankfully, I'm very pleased to report that the beverage we share is very much the real deal. Although, judging by your tongue, you're already well aware. I bashfully retracted my tongue, feeling a sting of shame for having been being pointed out. It was all I could do to try to cool myself down. Suffice to say, they didn't call it firewater without good reason. You and Ty, a taste for fine booze is something you both have in common. Indeed we do. Spencer smiled warmly as he elegantly enjoyed another sip of his glass. Not wanting to be left behind, I braced myself for the impending wave of searing heat that followed suit. Much to my displeasure, the burn was no less unpleasant the second time round. Huskies were just not designed for this. Spencer smiled, a clear lack of offense toward my distinct absence of finer taste. At long last, I plucked up the courage to ask him a question of my own, one that I had been wondering since he'd first extended his request. Hey, Spencer, thanks for the drink. It was very kind of you, but I hope I don't seem too unappreciative or rude in wondering why I did so in the first place. Oh? Spencer swirled his contents of his glass absent-mindedly as he considered his answer, concluding that, with another sip, followed by a satisfied grin, our eyes connected as he delivered his response. Well, I've known Ty for quite some time now, and I suppose it would not be inaccurate to say that his well-being is of great importance to me. He has spoken about you at length, and said many wonderful things. I suppose you may think of me as something of a supported spectator. I wish nothing but the best for you both. Normally, I would not become involved in other people's affairs like this, but, well, you know what they say about extreme situations requiring similarly extreme measures. You could say I have a vetted interest in how things may proceed. Spencer's own response was no less cryptic than the ones Ty had been feeding me this entire time. I couldn't help but feel sorely disappointed. I was no closer to understanding what was going on. And sure, Perhaps you could argue that Spencer was at least proving he was not a threat. But how was I supposed to know that doing so wasn't exactly what he had planned? How would I know he wasn't lulling me into some kind of false sense of security? As always, the evasive answers only raised more questions than before. It was frustrating, and perhaps against my better judgment, I decided to let Spencer know that. You know, Ty keeps a lot of secrets from me. There's like this whole big piece of his life that he makes sure I remain ignorant about. Yet he assures me that the most important thing in his life. I have faith in him. But I guess I'm still a little bit scared of it all, of things I don't know. Each and every time I ask him about it, he gives me these vague and nondescript answers. He tries to quell my fears with the smoke and mirrors, but I just wind up more confused with more questions than before. I guess the reason I'm telling you this is because your answer to my question just now, it sounded like something he would have said. Spencer's manners for the duration of the conversation had been mostly impeccable, his intense eye contact rarely broken except when necessary. Yet here, he suddenly appeared to be somewhat conflicted as his line of sight fell tableward. Spencer, staring at the knots of the varnished wood as he considered how to respond. I understand that such secrecy tends to arouse suspicion. That is only a natural response to your circumstances. I'm thinking, could this guy be an adoptive father or something like that? Maybe not adoptive father, but like, now that I think of it, him and Ty have quite similar mannerisms. I'm tired of being told I have nothing to worry about, because I only wind up worrying about it even more. I'm exhausted by the constant doubt and insecurity that comes with all this. I'm just so frustrated about being kept in the dark. Agent's putting on a bit strong. I do not begrudge you for those emotions. I can offer you my assurance that Ty's intentions are good, but I understand that the road to hell is paved with similar such intentions. I hope you will not hold any of this against him. He does only what he must. It's clear to me that you know. It's clear to me that you know. But I guess you won't tell me the answers either, huh? I apologize. Also, it is Ty's thing. You can ask Ty every now and then, but it's like, hey, Ty's thing's Ty's thing. Spencer's unusual appearance certainly provoked an alarm in those who witnessed him. His shroud of secrecy only causing an alarm to fester into fear, doubt, and distrust. There's also the consideration that, even now, somewhere deep within my mind, my instincts tell me to drop everything and run. That the man sitting before me was somehow not what he seemed to be. He was not what he seemed to be. He was different. I simply could not articulate why I felt this way. I didn't rightly know myself. But yet, there was something else about him. Perhaps it was a mask to conceal his true identity, or perhaps we all had him pegged so very wrong the entire time. Because Spencer was kind, sweet even, clearly generous, very well educated, refined, tasteful, articulate. Really enough, these were all qualities that remind me a great deal of Ty, except everything dialed up to 11 and incorporated into a thin, almost frail-looking body. Nonetheless, the fact that Spencer clearly knew what Ty and Lucas knew strongly implied that Spencer was somehow involved, as opposed to merely being some knowledgeable third party. And what I had not learned a great deal from our conversation, it had essentially confirmed something that I had suspected for quite some time. The secrecy surrounding Spencer and his secrets that Ty and Lucas kept. I had little doubt that these were one and the same. I mulled over what all of this could mean, as I took another sip from my glass. There's so many possibilities, but so few necessitated such a level of secrecy. It just didn't make any sense. As I stared at the table, deep in my own thoughts, I took one final sip of my drink, my mind distracted from these cries of mercy emanating from my singed taste buds. I hope that despite your disappointment, you've enjoyed our time together this afternoon. I do dearly hope that my choice of beverage did not cause you discomfort. Something of an acquired taste, I think. Are Ortegans common in this part of the world? What a strange question. How do you mean? Oh, please don't mind me. The answer is no. In fact, they are no longer common anywhere in the world. Not even in their beautiful homeland. Not unlike every other species, their population has been in steady decline for quite some time now. But you see, their circumstances are somewhat different, resulting in them being somewhat of an evolutionary canary, if you will. What? An evolutionary canary? What does that mean exactly? Pay me no mind. I would hate to bore you with all the statistics and science. No, do that. I need answers. I leaned forward, clear indication of my intrigue. I had heard the odd thing here and there about Ortegan people, but had never taken time to learn their true story. Fuck. Again, these scenes can take a long time, but okay. Okay, I'm not sure how long this is going, but we're hit the 41-minute mark, so we're gonna call it. 41? Yeah. Like, I can only do so much, and when you're playing a game like this, it's like, okay, maybe just, you know, I need to cut these up or else these things could turn into hour-long episodes. But that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. And hey, if it's two different things, that's fine. So, please comment, cause I like comments, something you like, dislike, tips, otherwise, if you like my YouTube and like seeing grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow, and please remember to spay and neuter your animals to help control the pet population. And if you're interested in playing this game, it's available free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $5 a month, or $54 a year. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix, I'm Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. So thanks and see ya.